Mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check, mic check. What's up? If you're joining, say what's up in the chat. What's up, Super? How you doing? Hope all is well. Guys, I have nothing planned. It's been so crazy busy, and I've had so many emails, and I just answered people, and I tried to download some of it, and the pictures, and my computer kept freezing. I don't know what's going on. I couldn't get it to work, but couldn't be bothered to deal with it, to be honest. So I'm just going live. We can talk about fertilizer. You know, I have some Sunnyland products up, and we can ask any questions or anything, but I have nothing planned. I just couldn't do it. Things have been so crazy, so I'm sorry, but wanted to get here and get live and see if anyone's been waiting for this. Just couldn't get any of the emails to download or get into Word and work, so I apologize, but if we have any questions or anything, I mean, feel free to ask away. We can talk about whatever. It's the springtime, so it's with it being the springtime, it's nice because you don't have a lot of issues right now, but it's also important time to get your lawn back into shape. So it's kind of a good time, but not too much. Nate, hey Chad, busy night. Want to stop and say hey, hope all is well. Thanks, Nate. I appreciate you stopping in. You're not missing much tonight. I really just don't have much planned. It's been so crazy busy, so I'm just here chatting away. And if anyone wants to ask any questions or anything, let's do it. But if not, it'll be a short live. But I appreciate you coming and checking in, Nate. As always, thank you. Hope you have a good night. So if anyone has any lawn-related questions or anything, ask away. That's what I'm here for. I'll be on here for a little bit. As long as we have activity and questions, I'll stay live and we'll talk away. But if it's kind of dead, then I'll just end the stream. So whichever way works, I'm down for whatever. I don't mind talking about lawn, looking at fertilizers, or whatever we need to do. Rate 8 ounces for every 2 inches. That's weird. Just sprayed atrazine on my St. Augustine grass here. Mike, not a big fan of atrazine, man. I mean, it's fine, but the only reason I'm not a big fan of it is because, well, I guess it's really not a big deal, I guess, in the springtime, but atrazine is just too easy to make a mistake, and there's just a lot of products out there. But if you know what you're doing, and you have experience, that's kind of a little bit different. But like with us, we don't use atrazine because it's just way too dangerous of a product. Having technicians and people mixing it, it's just too easy to make a mistake, or if you overspray, you can stress and burn the lawn. That's why I use a product called Avenue South, which is a form of 2,4-D you can use on St. Augustine, which is rare, but it works just as well as atrazine on most things, and it's just a lot more forgiving. So that's what I'm a big fan of. But hey, man, if you've got it down, if you're going to use it, now's a great time before that heat comes in. So it works and the results are there. But if you're ever concerned about using it or want something a little different, I love Avenue South. Great product. So that'll help you there a lot. let's see. Best remedy for severe compaction, severe aeration. Aerate the crap out of it. Especially, like you said, severe. Especially if you say severe, you want to do a severe aeration, as in, really tearing up the lawn. The concept is, and if people have heard this before me talking about it, is you want to think of tilling your lawn, tilling your soil, but you don't want to totally destroy your lawn. So you probably want to do, in cases of severe compaction, you want to do 3 to 6 passes on an aerator, going in as many different directions as you can over the lawn, top dressing the worst areas, but repeating. You can do 2 aerations in a year, one in the spring, one in the fall, but at least one every spring. It'll take a couple aerations to get it going, and aeration results are slow. So aerate, and then promote growth with you don't want the weed and feed though, but like a 1608 would be fine. 7,600 square foot bag. What a random size that covers. A 33-pound bag that covers 7,600 square feet. They're literally making the math as hard as possible for all of us here. But that would be a good product to do after doing that. But it's going to be continuing. It's going to be continuous aerations, 2 a year max. How well do you know soil tests? Pretty well. If you have a soil test, you can email it to me. We can go over it. That's fine. That is fine there. So you're more than welcome to send me a soil test. I can get a good reading of it and tell you what's going on. Hi, evening. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate you coming in as always and showing support. It's kind of a free for all here today, so we're just doing as we do. You have a gator flag in the background. You go to UF. I did not go to UF. I went to what I call the cheap UF. I went to First Coast Technical College. All of our papers said UF at the top, so I call it the cheap University of Florida because we went to their ag extension agency several times doing stuff, and most of our tests and papers came from them. So I did not go to UF. I just went to trade school and spent a lot of time in the field and spent extra time learning. So, but I'm a big Gator fan. I was a Gator fan before. I went to school with Tim Tebow at Nice High School. So, I was born and raised in Florida. So I'm either a Gator fan or a Seminole fan. And Tebow went to Florida. So, and I went to school with them. So I guess that's how I became a Gator fan. But love the Gators, and UF has great horticulture and agriculture program is going on over there. So that's a beautiful operation, and I use their information, like UF IFAS, religiously on getting accurate information. So great place. Okay. So Mike, okay, only did my front lawn for the dollar weed. So too late to use any other product you recommend? No, that's fine. Just wait a month and then use the Avenue South. The Avenue South, I think, works just as well on dollar weed than atrazine, but like I said, it's just a lot more forgiving and easier not to burn. You can go put Avenue South out in 110 degree weather, as long as you're following, of course, the label rates, without a single bit of burning or stress on the lawn, and you can get a good kill of dollar weed. It's a beautiful thing. Atrazine, you can't do that with. So wait a month, then go ahead and use atrazine, or go ahead and use Avenue South. I'm doing a lawn that has low pH, around 5.2. That is low. Cool season lawn. I don't know the lime ratios. To be honest, I don't know. I don't put down lime that much here. We balance our pH with humic and our soil because of all the alkaline from all the limestone, and our pH just doesn't really get that off, besides under oak trees and things that have very acidic leaves. Gosh, I couldn't tell you. I would have to refer to the bag, to be honest. But what I do know is it's a lot easier to raise the pH than it is to lower. So you want to lean on the generous side and slowly move up. But I apologize that I can't give you an accurate thing because I don't know the lime, I don't know the soil, and I would just refer to the bag for instructions. So I just apologize I can't give you a better answer. But I do know, go light, because like I said, it's easier to raise the pH than it is to lower. Have some tall throwing grass popping up in the neighborhood and in my yard, Houston area, St. Augustine. Any recommendations? Without me knowing what it is, it would be hard for me to recommend anything. If it's a grassy type weed that doesn't have there's like three main categories for weeds, kind of two look-wise. We have broadleaf weeds and grassy weeds, and then I have the other category is in sedges, which is considered a grassy type weed. So if it's not a broadleaf, and it's a grassy type, it's probably going to be a sedge. Then for that case, you'll need some type of sedge control. But if it's something like goosegrass and stuff, you might have to pull that by hand, because there's a lot of type of wild grasses that grow very tall that can be suppressed with herbicides, but suppressing with a herbicide is pretty much a joke. It means it stresses it but doesn't kill it, so it's pretty much useless, and you might as well just pull it. But without a picture or any information, it would be hard to tell. No problem, I'll research it. Yeah, sorry Super, I wish I could have more information for you there. Awesome. We'll wait a month. Thank you for that. I am subscribed to your channel and watch. Awesome, Mike. I appreciate it. That's all I ask out of anybody. It's just subscribing, supporting, liking, and being here on things like this. It means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. And it's a simple thing, so thank you. Really appreciate that. When do we need to start worrying about grub worms in North Florida? Now, but it's very, very rare that you're going to have major grub issues in St. Augustine grass. I've been doing this for a very long time in the greater Jacksonville area, probably a good 100-mile radius. I've spent a fair amount of time evaluating and treating lawns. And from that experience, from about 10 years, I have not seen, again, this is in a kind of a 100-mile radius of the city of Jacksonville, kind of includes, St. Augustine and the Crescent, and almost, up north by Georgia. So I know this does happen, but I'm saying in my experience and in my areas, I have never seen a St. Augustine lawn damaged just by grubs alone. You'll always find grubs in the soil. You cannot permanently eliminate grubs, but you need a very high number of grubs to actually do damage. And I have personally just never seen that in St. Augustine. Now, Bahia, Bermuda, grubs all the time. We treat some school sports field and they have major grub issues. Now is the time to try to do something for grubs. But like I said, if you have a St. Augustine lawn, the amount of treating grubs is hard because they're in the soil, so you need a product that you can get soaked in and into the soil. So for the amount of chemical you have to use for the result you're gonna get, it doesn't weigh. And that's like my thing with atrazine. Atrazine is a great herbicide, but for the risk to reward is not. Back in the day, that's all you had to kill dollar weeds. So you had to take the risk because that was the only way to get the reward. But now there's less risk for the same reward with the Avenue South. So that's what I'm saying. So a lot of times I would dig out a sod-sized piece in your yard and pull it up and look. If you find about 5 to 6 grubs in a sod-sized piece of dirt in your lawn, that's a grub problem. That's worth treating. But if you pull it up and you see 1 or 2 grubs in a sod-sized piece, they're really not doing damage to the turf. Now, it's your lawn and you're more than welcome to treat it by applying insecticide over the entire lawn, you're probably doing more damage to the microbials, which is what transfers the nutrient to the plant, than you are in actually killing grubs that may be feeding on the roots and doing very maybe minor damage that would usually be, eaten up by a armadillo or a mole anyway. So that's something you have to weigh out. Again, I tell everyone it's your lawn, and if you're actually seeing damage, it needs to be treated. But if you're really not seeing damage, and you've just seen a couple grubs and even moles in your lawn, moles love earthworms and things like that, I just don't think it's worth treating at that high of a level. But if you do want to treat, now's the time, because when everything is coming up. Okay, Mike, what is your comment going to raise my yard? Going to use mason sand. Okay, on St. Augustine. I live outside of What's Inno had driveway and sidewalk redone. I don't know what city Inno is. New Orleans, I guess. Yeah, you have St. Augustine, so it's your Louisiana. I'm going to raise my yard. I'm going to use Mason sand. Mason sand. Let's look. Oh, ooh, that's good sand right here. So I'd like to really. That looks beautiful right there. Ooh, yeah. A little chunky there. I mean, if your Mason sand's looking like this, look, they got a calculator and everything for you on this site. Salt sand mix. That's weird. Oh, I guess that's for people up north. I forgot. You have to use salt on roads. Yeah, Mason sand. Okay, so it is New Orleans. Mason sand seems to be fine. I recommend builder's sand, leveling sand. Sometimes other sands can come with too big of rocks. You want the texture of play sand, but you don't want that white color. That white's a lot of silica, and that silica is glass, and that glass attracts heat. So it's not the end of the world, but you want a good texture sand like this, but you want that yellow hue to it like that. Yeah, this Mason sand looks good. It's like it doesn't have big chunks. It's very fine. It's got that yellow to it, which that means it has less silica, which means it'll track less heat, which means it'll be less stress on the lawn. So this Mason sand, as long as it is of this quality, where it doesn't have like little rock chunks in it, Mason sand would be absolute way to go. Depending how wet your lawn is, maybe adding a little bit of black cow with that, like a little bit, like maybe every 5 bags of sand. You could 1 bag of black cow to add some nutrients in there, but that black cow holds moisture, so if you're having moisture issues, then I wouldn't do it. So, but that sand looks like good stuff. So, Alex, hey, what's up? Thanks for commenting and checking in. I appreciate that. If you're joining us, comment, say what's up, and give it a like. I appreciate that. But hey, Alex, thanks for joining in. Super. Is Poa annua a problem in Florida? Poa annua is awful in Florida. It's horrible here in New Jersey. I swear it's coming from the bags of soil I sifted and applied to level the lawn. Get you much more consistent cut with the real mower. Yeah, honestly, it probably did. So here's the thing with Poa annua. Poa annua is a nightmare here in Florida. I'm not sure. Well, I guess if you have St. Augustine, I know we can't treat Poa annua out of St. Augustine grass. That's 100%. I'm not sure if maybe some cooler season grasses have a herbicide that works for Poa annua. I'm not sure about that, but I know here in Florida, we cannot treat Poa annua. And Poa annua can come in the soil because check this out. I did a video about Poa annua, so I know this stuff well. Poa annua seeds can sit in the soil for up to 7 years dormant. 7 years that seed can sit in the soil. And 1 year, when that soil condition is right, boom, that seed will germinate. A wet year, a dry, could be a wet year, a cool year, a warm year, whatever that Poa annua doesn't like the heat, so it's obviously cool. And I know this is in wet areas, so probably cool and wet when the conditions are right. That Poa annua can grow, so that seed can be sitting there for a very long time. So adding those bags can definitely have the Poa annua seed in it, and it might not be their fault because that's such a difficult seed, because most seeds can't live that long without doing something in a soil, but for some reason Poa annua can. That's why golf courses are very scared, actually. So when golf courses want to do resodding or repairing work, they're actually scared to till the soil because they're worried about bringing up old seeds like Poa annua and things to the surface that are just nightmares to treat, because they may be buried deep under there from years and years of treatment, and there was Poa annua in this area and they used pre-emergence and really worked on the area and maybe did some other top dressing work and pushed those seeds down. So now when they change the course or want to do something, they may till up that area and they may bring those seeds back to the top. So golf courses are very wary about that. because poana is so hard to control. But luckily, it gets hot here very quick, and the poana is just going to die out in the heat. So it's not too long of an issue for us, but it definitely is an issue, and it's definitely annoying. Builder in Silverleaf is putting in sod directly on sand. Where can we put down our cell? What can we put down? Oh, gosh. I mean, I would love if you could put down a soil called Command. Yeah, the builders will do an awful job. Silverleaf is not. It's not just Silverleaf. Pretty much in the Jacksonville, St. John's, and St. Augustine areas, if your home was built in the last 10 years, it's built on shit soil and it sucks. And you're going to really need to do a lot of extra work to have a decent looking lawn. I have here an acre of land. It kind of floods. I'm actually regrading it and all this. I kind of should have filmed it, but I've been so busy. I'm seeding my backyard Bermuda because I covered all my St. Augustine with dirt. But the soil is just awful. So if you're able to get Command or some Black Cow or something dark to put under there, that would really, really help. But it wouldn't be good just to put something just dark over top. It'd be kind of good to mix it up. It'd be good to put a nice layer of dark soil, Black Cow, Command, something that can retain some nutrients and moisture, and then till it with the sand. St. Augustine does like sand, but not pure sand. So a good mix of sandy with some darker, richer soil, that would really help. But Command, it would be the best thing. The next best thing would be Black Cow or some type of darker soil you can get in bulk. Black Cow may be too expensive for that situation. Mike, thanks for all the answers. I cut my grass at 3 to 4 inches. Heard it's better to cut St. Augustine at higher level. Thoughts? Yeah. The higher the better. Definitely. But 4 inches the better. Yeah. I would just stick with 4 inches. I've seen good cut lawns at 3, but they usually have a little more shade. People are usually taking care of them a lot more by fertilizing more and things like that. Cutting at 4 makes it easier for maintenance. And things like that. So the 3 cut looks better, but 4 is proper, and you'll have less issues cutting at 4. Yes, that makes sense. Kind of like crabgrass seed. Yeah, I have a lot of weak pressure since surrounding neighbors don't treat their... Yeah, so that's going to be tough. Yeah, and what I learned... And so crabgrass seed can do the same. Not nearly as long as poana seed, but crabgrass seed is worse because one of those crabgrass seed pods that pop up can produce over 200,000 seeds in a growing season. Okay? 200,000 seeds. Okay? So what is that? So now pre-emergents are good at about 90% effectiveness. A good pre-emergent applied properly and timely is about 90% effective. So if that crabgrass produces 200,000 seeds, and let's say we get 90% control, there's still thousands of seeds that can possibly produce in the lawn. That's why crabgrass is so gnarly. People don't understand or think about that. You can be doing everything right, and you can still be battling crabgrass. It's not just apply a pre-emergent and you're good to go. When something's producing that high of a number of seeds, those seeds are going to eventually grow. So getting the turf thick with a mix of pre-emergents is ideal. And that's why I tell people when you're tearing out old sod, when you're tearing out old crabgrass, I want you to till the soil and lay sod on top, because all those seeds, if you bury them under the sod and they can't get any sunlight, most likely they won't germinate. So, but yeah, it's going to be tough. The best thing you can do is keep your lawn thick as possible if area's thin, instead for letting them fill in, sodding, so that seeds don't have the chance to grow there. And so keeping the lawn thick, sodding thin areas, and applying pre-emergents religiously on a timely manner are going to help you with the neighbors' crap and stuff like that. And that's just going to be the best you do. Thoughts on bagging or mulching? Great question, Mike. So with St. Augustine grass, let me think real quick. No, okay, so this is more accurate for St. Augustine, Bahia, and centipede grass. This is not nearly as true for Bermuda or zoysia. So with those three grasses, Bahia, centipede, and St. Augustine, don't bag. The only time you should be bagging on those types of turf is when you have weeds, because you'll be those seeds will be spreading every time you mow, hits the blades, seeds spread, bam, you have a seed problem. You're just spreading the weeds over the lawn. So if you do have a weed issue, I do recommend bagging. But here, we want to let those clippings fall back in to the soil, and that's because it'll obviously, we all know it breaks down and gives the lawn nutrients again. Everyone goes, well, what about that? Well, guess what? In those grasses I talked, well, not really Bahia, but like and not really I guess really mainly St. Augustine. This can't happen in centipede. But mainly St. Augustine, what happens is our thatch is the dead runners. Because it's so hot and wet here, dead grass breaks down very quickly. Or you can bag when the grass is very tall and you missed a week of cutting because it's been wet or you were out of town. I would bag then if you're cutting the grass very high. But other than that, only with weeds. The rest of the time, let it go. That dead grass will break down very quick with our hot and wet climate. Our thatch is from people over fertilizing or not cutting their lawn frequently enough, and it's the runner. So layer of soil, first runner, okay? Over fertilizing your lawn shoots a bunch of growth. More runners. These runners die. And so your lawn is now thick and spongy, full of runners, not dead grass. Dead runners, which have a special material in them that doesn't allow them to break down. Runners will sit in your soil pretty much, not forever, but they break down over like 10 years or so to get fully decomposed because of this material that the St. Augustine runners have in them. So only bag for late misses on mows, weed issues, mulch the rest of the time. Now, Bermuda and zoysia, it's not really as similar because the grass is finer and that grass really gets thick and can get clumped up. If you're cutting both religiously, you should be okay mulching, but I usually recommend people with zoysia and Bermuda, if you can, maybe bag once a month out of it. So 3 normal cuts or alternate. Cut, bag, mulch, or like I said, at least maybe bag once a month, just so you're not putting too much debris down, because that Bermuda and zoysia can be so fine and it can leave like a matte layer on the soil and can possibly choke it out. But with St. Augustine, you don't have to worry about those big grass blades like that. So it's kind of weird the way it sounds, but that's how it works. To your knowledge, what lawnmower residential brands has the tallest cut height? I don't know, to be honest, but I like anything Honda because Honda runs. I don't know about mow heights, but probably the cheapest, most reliable mower you can get is a Honda. I love all Honda, small engines, Hondas, everything. Reliable, great, easy working. But rather than, I would just, you'll have to go to the store and look, or you'll have to research the mowers, because honestly, I don't know which types, but the most important thing is to buy a mulching mower, guys. Here's the importance, okay? In mulching blades. So our grass here is thick. So you go to Home Depot and you see there's 2 Honda mowers, okay? They look almost the exact same. One is $120, one is $200. They look almost the exact same. You go, why am I going to spend an extra $80 on a mower that looks the exact same? Well, here's the difference. One mower is going to have probably just a couple more horsepower, maybe 3 to 5 more horsepower than the other mower. And also it's going to have mulching blades. So here's the difference. If you have a non-mulching mower, you probably should bag, because the mower is cheap. There's a small engine which keeps the price down, but the mower is not strong enough to mulch, especially thick St. Augustine. And St. Augustine's a thick blade. Now zoysia and Bermuda are a thin blade, but those grasses can grow very thick and clumpy. So it doesn't have enough it's not powerful enough to really mulch. So when you get something a couple more horsepower, that blade is spinning faster, it's got more power behind it, and it doesn't start to slow as you're cutting thick areas of the lawn. And then also, a mulching blade has grooves. Most blades, have you ever looked at a lawnmower blade? But of course, they have the blade side where it cuts, and then the end of the blade kind of swoops up a little bit on the edge. And most of the time, that's just flat and solid. But most will have notches in that swoop. And when you have notches in that swoop, that is a mulching blade. And what those notches in the swoop do is they create a vacuum underneath the mower, and it keeps sucking the grass blades up. So instead for the grass just being cut one time and falling into the soil, it keeps getting sucked back up. And when you have such a high horsepower motor, that blade is spinning, could be twice as fast as a mower with less horsepower. So it's sucking up, and that blade, now that grass blade, before it's false, instead for being cut once, maybe twice, it is now being cut 5 to 6 times before it hits the ground. So you're hitting little shreds back on the ground rather than big pieces of dead or of fresh cut grass. Little chunks rather than big pieces. So that's what's going to be important. Most mowers at the highest setting are about 4 to 4.5 inches. So I would find Honda, and I would spend the money, get a mulching mower, mulching blades, and homeowners, sharpen your blades, okay? I know you don't think you need to as much, but your lawn cuts. Every time you run that mower, you're cutting millions of grass blades. So here's my recommendation: 2 sets of blades, okay? One on your mower, another is a spare. If you want to, you can sharpen them yourself. A sharpening tool's not that much. If you have that, you're set. But if you don't want to sharpen yourself, what you do is, when you happen to drive by a small engine repair shop, most of those will sharpen blades. Drop off your second set, have them sharpen it, and when you're driving back around, pick it up and then swap. Put the freshly sharpened ones back on the mower, take the old ones off, and then do the same thing. When you happen to be passing by a shop, drop that extra set off and keep alternating. Ideally, guys, ideally, at least in the summer, you should be changing your blades once or twice. In an ideal world, I would say 4 times, but we're all human. We got other crap to do. Most people aren't going to be changing their blades 4 times. At least once to twice in a growing season, please. That clean cut, guys, really makes a big difference, because especially when you're looking visuals to the lawn. When you have that dull blade, it can stress, it tears the grass. It's not ideal, but the main problem is when it tears, it leaves that brown tip. So you spent all this work on making your grass green just to cut it with a dull blade, and then it all has those brown tips, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you're looking at millions of brown tips, it gives your lawn a brown hue to it. So you're missing a lot of that color in green just because your mower blades were not sharp enough. So again, most of them will be at the height, but there's my kind of mowing rant. That's a lot of good mowing information. I might cut this clip out and make that a video. That was good mowing information. Great question. Thank you. Finally get to make it to the live. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. This one is not even structured. I have nothing going on. We're just chatting away. So this is kind of a free-for-all one. I just threw down some fertilizer Milorganite. Is it still possible to throw down some pre-emergent? Yeah, pre-emergent and fertilizer is totally fine. That's totally okay. Look, Milorganite is not a good spring fertilizer. You need something with power, baby. You need more power. Sunnyland was recommended from the viewers. I don't buy Sunnyland because we use a lot of our own products that I'm trying to get out to, which is the world's biggest nightmare. That's another discussion. But for the spring, you don't need Milorganite is great literally the rest of the year besides spring and fall. You have your 2 major pushes. And I have a video on this. If you go watch my video, I forgot what it's called, but it's like it's a fertilizer schedule or something like that. But I show you exactly what to use and when. But right now, you want to be using like a 1608, a 1648, or something like, that's weed and feed. Like you want to be using something like this right now because you want that pop. And then every month after that, just spoon feed the lawn with Milorganite, because Milorganite really doesn't have enough to wake it up. You need those all-around macros, that 16 nitrogen, ideally a little bit of phos in there, but excuse me, no phos is okay. And then half, whatever your nitrogen is, you want half your potassium, which is the last number there. That's what you want to do in your spring mix rather than milorganite. Then, through literally the whole summer, just once a month, put out milorganite. And that'll keep it going, but while this woke up your lawn. So that's going to be best. But that wasn't really your question. But it's totally okay to do a pre-emergent after milorganite. Has no effect with each other. You're totally good to go. No worries there. Thank you for jumping into the live stream. All right, super. For rotary, whoa, hitting that rotary life. Nice, nice. For rotary, I use the Honda HRX 217. Never stalled on me, expensive but worth it. Cuts very well with great suction power. So, see, and that's a rotary type. I tell you, Honda small engines are the way to go. All of our equipment relies on small engines from our landscaping division to the spraying division, even to somewhat the irrigation division. But I buy Honda small engines everywhere I go. Like he says, they're a little, maybe, yeah, if you get the better, higher type, maybe higher horsepower and stuff, they are a little bit more expensive, but I promise you, it's a Honda small engine is worth it all day. So, my St. Augustine lawn won't grow more than 1 inch in height. I figured out it was my oak tree. They're about 1 inch under the grass. My oak tree roots. Okay. So oak tree, very common for uprooting. Oak tree roots are very shallow. I won't be shopping for oak tree roots. Oh, that's funny. I was wondering what would come up. Gosh, probably. I hope it's not that bad. I've seen this before. This is probably, well, with all the leaves on the ground. Texas, I was going to say, I knew this was somewhere warm. I see this a lot. It's stupid how they put those trees there. Idiots. University of Florida did a big study about that. How bad it is. But yeah, they're very much known for uprooting and having shallow roots. Now, if it's at the extreme, like you're saying, like it's being 1 inch under the grass, 2 options. You either build soil way back up and put sod on top and you'll kind of have this weird mound looking thing. Don't recommend it. It's optional. Don't recommend it. We got to go simple. Make it a bed. I usually tell people it's very hard underneath oak trees, especially as they get bigger. Because the dangers of root disturbance. Because as you see, they're very shallow, like this here, and it's just not going to get better. So usually I recommend from about half the canopy out. So here's the edge of the canopy. You want to go about halfway in. I recommend usually making that a bed. So wherever the edge of the canopy is, from halfway out to in, all a bed. Because these roots are just going to be more aggressive. I don't recommend root cutting. Root cutting is stupid. You're only hurting the tree, and guess what? The roots grow back in about a year. And it costs a lot of money. So, if you have to protect your foundation, that's a different story. But, for your lawn, don't do it. Make it a bed. Asiatic jasmine, shell ginger, mondo grass. You got all those options to plant underneath there. I would do that. Don't keep doing the sod. You're just gonna. What happens is the sod's gonna establish. It's gonna look good for 6 months to a year. And you're gonna go, wow, this is great, and then it's gonna slowly thin and die. And it's just gonna be forever repeating cycle. So I recommend everybody from the trunk to halfway out to the canopy, make a bed, put in plants or whatever. But when those roots are uprooted, and some people get better into the deal than others. You know, this really isn't too bad. As you can see, but I have a lot of people where it's all roots up to that point that I was talking about, and the roots are only gonna become higher and higher and bigger, so it's just gonna be a constant battle. Don't keep fighting it. Solve it. Hopefully that's easy to make a bed underneath there. Some people's, that tree's their whole front yard, and making a bed underneath it is just like, it's a little crazy, you know. So it would be difficult to do, but that would be my best recommendation. If you don't like that and that doesn't seem the direction you want to go, throw soil in, put sod back, and hope the best. So keeping the tree properly trimmed helps a lot too. But oak trees are beautiful, beautiful trees. I really hate wanting to tear them down. They're gorgeous, but try to work around them. Keep them trimmed up nicely and things like that. But gosh, usually, when they're big like this, just beautiful trees that you can't replace. So thank you for answering my question. I shall get pre-emergent tomorrow. Keep that in mind about the Norgonite. Great info again. Yeah, Jamie, and check out my other videos. I just did a spring one about spring fertilization and pre-emergence. I have a whole video just about pre-emergence. So I would check out those 2 videos. Probably both of them combined is a total of only 15 minutes. So we're not talking about a long videos, or between those 2 videos, watching 15 minutes, you can get a lot of information and figure out how it's really good to understand how pre-emergents work. Okay. Because then it helps you apply. That's with all the products. That's why I teach these things, because it's great buying fertilizer and putting it out in your lawn, but why did that fertilizer make your lawn green, or why did that fertilizer not make your lawn green? You want to know those things, and when you understand how pre-emergence works, it makes sense when you're applying it. If you can So look. Is this? How do I just blow this up? No, I don't want to go to your website. Open link in new tab. No, that's what's happening. Open image. Okay. So this is how they work, is it really helps you be able to know how to apply these types of things. And again, like the videos tell you, pre-emergents are like putting a layer over the soil like this. So granular crabgrass pre-emergent prevents the mortgage of crabgrass plants that will grow in established lawn. Established lawn is very important. So crabgrass granular control dissolves and creates a barrier in the soil that reduces germination. Granular crabgrass control. So you put that granular down, you water it in, and then it creates a nice solid layer. So that's why it's going to be very, very important to do a nice even coating, and that's how it works. So it's important to know this, because once you do this, you don't want to disturb the soil. You don't want to do an air. Well, look, if you need to break your pre-emergent layer to do an aeration, that's more important. But you don't want to waste the pre-emergent doing it. But think about how that works. So when you have wet areas, how can that barrier stay if it's staying underwater all the time? That doesn't make sense. How can that barrier stay if you're whipping it on your 0-turn mower or your ride-on mower, creating ruts and things? You broke that barrier. If you're digging stuff up, you're breaking the barriers. So visualizing and knowing how those things work really helps you be better at applying them, or understanding why you got certain mixed results or whatever like that. So watch those videos, find a good liquid or granular, both work fine, but get a nice good even coating. And if it's going to pour, now it needs to be watered in, but we don't want it to wash out. Tomorrow here in North Florida, we're supposed to get rain all day. So I would not apply a pre-emergent the day before, because it's not guaranteed. We don't know. It's hard to tell. Every situation is different. But there's a possibility that this could wash out. But you don't want to take the risk of reapplying, because you don't know. And if you do too much pre-emergent, you're going to stunt your roots and kill your grass. So that's the big issue there with that. So you kind of have to really keep that in mind, and doing pre-emergence is very important. So kind of went into a little more detail than you asked, but I got nothing else to do. We're freestyling over here, anyways. In your experience, what pH are most untreated sandwich turf lawns in North Florida? I don't think I understand your question. Would you be able to reword that? In your experience, what pH are most untreated sandwich and turf lawns? What do you mean by what pH are most untreated? I'm not exactly sure what you mean there, but let's do pH. Oh, that's not pH 4. Probably not going to want images here. So, I really should do UFI. What's the pH of most lawns here in North Florida? The pH is about I would say from about a 5.8 to a 7.5. And honestly, with St. Augustine, that's usually okay because you want to be, now see, this is tight 6 to 6.5, but let's see if I can, usually it's a bigger range. So our goal with our humic is we go out neutral. We go out at a 7. So whether it's too high or too low, it really helps with that. So that's why it really is not too important. Now, it's way off, but underneath oak trees, it'll be way lower. But we have a lot of limestone underneath in all the aquifers under the ground, which has a lot of alkaline. I know limestone you would think is acidic. It's not. It's alkaline. This pH is like, it's the most confusing thing ever because the things you think would do it one way, do it the other way. It's crazy, but so that really helps kind of naturally balance out our pH from keeping it going too low and needing to constantly be adding stuff. So here we go. pH 4. So this is on the UF IFAS page. No, it didn't like that search. Hold up. Let me just do soil pH. This can give you a lot better information than just seeing it. Here, this is So soil pH is a measurement of acidity or alkalinity of the soil, which we know. Homeowners and gardeners like or interested in soil pH because it affects the growth and quality of the landscape plant. On a pH scale, a value of 7 is considered neutral, which is ideally, like I said, our goal to go out at a neutral pH. And again, that's fine. Like I said, St. Augustine 6 to 6.5, which is ideal. But from my experience, I would give St. Augustine a range you can have a good look in St. Augustine in a range of about 5 to 7.5. Probably even 8. Once you get out of those scales, the St. Augustine may start to stress or it's hard to pick up nutrients. The lower it is, the harder time your plant has picking up nutrients. So once it starts to really dip below 5, you can have problems, but I usually only find that underneath oak trees from people who don't rake up their leaves. The value of 7, blah, blah, neutral, then 7 acidic, blah, 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 blah. The median soil pH for Florida soil is 6.1. What did I say? I said 6.8? Okay. Again, this is the whole state of Florida, and you asked me for Jacksonville, but I feel Jacksonville pH is a little bit higher. But that's interesting that our soil pH is on average about a 6.1, which would be right in the zone for St. Augustine. So that's probably why we use it here. So that's really good, which is characterized as slightly acidic. But Florida soils can vary widely in pH. Oh, here we go. Soils in pine woods can be quite acidic. Soil that were formed from calcium-rich materials such as limestone or seashells tend to be more alkaline. This is particularly true for soils in coastal areas. See, that's where I got my 6.8. We're in a coastal area, so we'd be a little bit higher. It's particularly true of soils in coastal areas in South Florida. Building materials in the home and landscape, including concrete and stucco, may create alkaline conditions as well. That's interesting. I actually didn't know that the concrete can do that. We're all learning. We're learning together. Soil pH can affect the health of your landscape plants. Plants may exhibit nutrient deficiency or toxicity symptoms as a result of soil pH. In acidic soils, the availability of nutrients such as potassium, calcium, magnesium is reduced, which the amount of potential toxic elements such as aluminum, iron, zinc are increased. Alkaline soil, iron, magnesium, zinc, boron, and copper are commonly deficient. So, lowering the pH. See, okay, here we go. Raising the pH. To raise the pH, adding lime material. Lowering the pH of strongly alkaline soil is much more difficult. In fact, there is no way to permanently lower the pH of soil formed from high calcium materials, such as marl? What's marl? Maybe it means marble. Marl, shell, or limestone, as well as soils severely impacted by alkaline construction materials. Under these circumstances, it's best to select plants which will tolerate high pH conditions to avoid continuing plant nutritional problems. So that is very interesting. Feats. What's up, man? Thanks, Feats. I appreciate you joining me. Thanks so much, man. Thanks for the support. I appreciate you. And I'll see you in a little bit after I'm done here. Thank you, Feats. So that's some really good information here that we just message retract. Oh, okay, I see. So the pH should be there, but I didn't really realize about how the construction materials can really affect the alkalinity of your soil. So most likely we'll be leaning on the higher side of it here. But check this out. I know there's this really cool chart. Check this out. Oh, this is for food. Duh. I forget that, people need nutrients and things too. I just talk about grass all day. So check this. This looks like a little more accurate of a one. How do I do this again? It wasn't. Was it open image in the new tab? Yes, it was. Okay, here we go. So check this out. This shows you where the green. So the green is where the nutrients thrive the most. So when you're in these scales so strongly acidic, nitrogen's no good. It seems like most things that we hear. Great thing is our macros are pretty much neutral. And that's why we like to add a neutral pH with our humic acid, because we're allowing you to get the most out of your macro nutrients. Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Very important. That's what I'm recommending in the springtime. That's what we need to hit hard with. So when our mix is going out at a neutral pH and we're mixing potassium and nitrogen with a neutral pH, our customers are getting the best bang for their buck and we're getting more out of our nutrients because of it being pH. Now look at this though. Iron is on a strongly acidic scale. Now again, you'll get results of the iron, but when you're on a more alkaline side, if you're having a hard time greening up your lawn using iron, it's probably a more alkaline soil, which is natural here. So that's very interesting. A lot of the micros like the strongly acidic, but again, like you see, the magnesium is pretty forgiving. Potassium and sulfur, very forgiving here. So this is a really good scale to kind of show you where you're at. And as you can see, the most important is to be neutral and maybe even a little bit on the 6.5 scale, because it seems like you can get the max out of your macros, and you can still get decent micros on this scale. So this is a really cool little feature here to look at, and it's great to understand how it works. Again, no one's perfect. We don't expect anything to be perfect, but when you're getting mixed results and things, this can be why. If your lawn's not as green, you put down ironite and you didn't get the results and things, check your pH. What's going on there? So it's really important. But neutral to 6.5 really seems to be the game and seems to get the best bang for your buck. Any recommendations for pre-emergence? I live in Texas. Yes, Jamie, go check out the latest video I just did on my channel. It's called like Spring Fertilization Pre-Emergence. If you don't care about the fertilization, skip about halfway through the video, and then that's where I hit the pre-emergence. And I go over there, and then I give you 3 active ingredients to use, and then I would do the research of those 3 actives and see maybe what's most popular in your area. But prodiamine is usually like the number one go-to. You can't really go wrong with prodiamine. I know you can use it in Texas. I know you can use it in St. Augustine. So prodiamine's a big win. But check out that video. It might give you some more information and things. I put out some pre-emergent a couple hours ago before a large rainstorm. Should I reapply? You can't. You Jefferson, thanks for the comment, by the way, and I appreciate you jumping in. But you can't take that risk because we don't know if it washed out or not. Because when you apply too much, you can stunt the root growth, and your lawn will start to your lawn can become chlorotic and stressed. So you don't want to take that risk because it's not worth it. But now what you can do is look at how long that the residual of that pre-emergent is, which is how long is that pre-emergent supposed to sit around in the soil. Usually it's 30 to 90 days. I know it's kind of a big window. I would say for most products, 30 to 60 days. The better stuff, 60 to 90. So if it's 30 to 60 in 45 days, I would go out and reapply again, and you would be okay. But I would definitely don't reapply, definitely not within the month. Because you could do more damage than good, and it's just one of those situations, man. It's tough here in Florida, but pre-emergents do need to be watered in, but heavy rains can cause washout, and depending on your lawn, again, if your lawn's mushy, wet, doesn't, very compacted where water runs off rather than holds, then most likely, unfortunately, you lost a lot of it. But I wouldn't reapply within a month. Does humic acid naturally help with creating neutral pH environment to add to something so it'll be neutral? It's a simple test. Does humic acid naturally help? I don't know if all humic acid does. So my business partner's brother is the largest producer of humic acid in the world, and that's where we get our humic acid. And he has the purest, cleanest humic acid in the world. It is 96% humic acid. Most humic acid is about 70%. Like most people get their humic acid from shells in Mexico. We get our humic acid from coals in Canada, from old fossil fuel mines in Canada, which isn't happening anymore because the government's shutting them all down. Which that's a whole nother story in itself, but that doesn't matter. But our biostimulus coal does go out at a neutral pH. Now, we have to check with our strips because when we adding weed controls and surfactants and this and that can change the pH. So we have to add more or less humic acid, or we're using other products to help balance it out. But the clean, pure humic acid should be anywhere from probably 6.5 to 7.5 on the pH scale. Cheaper humics may be less, but again, it's not, the humic can't totally change the composition of the soil. If you constantly apply it, it can help keep it balanced, but if it's way off either way, it's not really gonna help that much. So, you would have to, the only way to do would be to get a pH strip test, mix some humic acid in a cup at the proper rate of whatever the product is, and check the pH that way. So how do you check pH of the soil? Is there a simple test? Yes, there is. Feet, you can send, let me see, no, wait. Let's see. Here we go. Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. Where's their website? There it is. So FEETS are the local extension agency will do one for free. So and you can get your concealed carries if you want to. You can send the same people who give you a gun also tell you what your pH is. I've never really gone on here. Is there a search? Oh, here we go. Gosh. I don't know where it is on here. You may have to ask them or something. But the local ag extension agency does do free soil samples. So, what you can do is you want to call them because everyone does it different. And the only thing that's great is they'll do it for free. Now you can pay some money and send it to Scott's, University of Florida, probably all around $100. But the most important thing is you need to follow whoever you're sending it to. You need to follow their instructions because some people say, hey, grab 5 different areas. In 5 different areas of your lawn, go 3 inches down and get a sample, and I'll put it in one bag, or I'll put it in separate bags, or whatever. But they'll give you instructions depending on how they're going to do their testing. You really need to follow that to get an accurate soil sample of the lawn. Now, they also just have meters you can stick in. To get an accurate one, it's about $80, and it doesn't make sense to you're not going to use it that much. So I would try to see how you can send it to the Department of Agriculture here. You may have to call them. It's somewhere on this site. I personally never done it, but I know plenty of customers that have sent it there. And University of Florida, I think it's about $100, and they tell you a lot more information. But again, the most important is reading their steps on how to send the soil samples properly to them. Because if you don't follow that right, you're going to get a false reading, and then you're going to think something is not right when the reading may be false. So that is a good way to do it. But yeah, 2-for-1er, man. Get your gun and get your soil right. Woo wee. We love Florida. It's a beautiful place, beautiful state. Love it here. Can't complain. We got a great state, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world. I can tell you that. Well, maybe anywhere else in the U.S. No, anywhere else in the world, I would say. That would be a fair assessment for me. So, gosh, we've gone over a lot. My music stopped playing. Let's get the tunes back. We went over pre-emergence. We went over roots. We went over pH. We're going soil charts. We're doing it all. FL Sunshine the best. Amen. Florida Sunshine is the best. I got a good dose this weekend. I got me some redneck abs where I was on a tractor moving dirt all weekend, and so I'm leaned over, so I'm sunburnt and like lines across my abs on where they are. So I call them old redneck abs. But also, so people in here, a lot of you watch a lot of my videos. Would you be interested in me doing growing videos? I'm starting a huge garden, lots of vegetables, lots of fruits, growing them in many types of different ways. Grow lights, indoor, outdoor, greenhouse, not greenhouse, organic, not organic, humic acids versus synthetic fertilizers, all kinds of things. I'm going to be having a blast. And then also, food prices are going to be crazy, so I'll be enjoying that. Would you guys be interested in me making videos on that stuff as well? It's something I really wanted to do because it all kind of falls in line. It wouldn't be, of course, lawn related, but I would teach everyone how to grow things, and hopefully I make the mistakes so you don't. Because to be honest, I really haven't grown many fruits and vegetables outside of growing up with my father, who we grew stuff together. But I have literally massive amounts of lists of everything. I'm growing almost every type of vegetable that is okay to grow here in Florida. I'm growing right now. So I'm going to learn a lot, and I'm growing a lot of everything. So if you guys would be interested in that, awesome. It seems like a lot of people like that. I can maybe do, like I said, like educational on plants and stuff, working on home gardens, and hopefully I'm making the mistakes, and you guys can learn from that. Hell yeah, gardening with turf organics. I'd be interested. Awesome. Wow, it sounds like we have a lot of interest in that. That's really good to hear. I'll start filming the process then. I've been moving dirt a lot. Mike, still here, brother. FL is a great state. I've been there many times on my motorcycle. Oh man, that's how you know it's springtime in Florida. Besides it raining every afternoon, the motorcycles. Once the motorcycles start riding out, the golf courses start getting filled. Nice thick humic air. You know it's coming, and god damn it, it's a beautiful thing every time. So it is a beautiful state, man. Come on down and ride your motorcycle all the time, man. We love people coming down and enjoying the sunshine with us. Such a beautiful place, and we love sharing it. We love sharing. We're so generous. We share the humidity with everybody that joins. You have curly hair and you want it straight? Not here in Florida. You want to step outside without sweating within 3 minutes? Not in Florida. We're an equal state. Everybody gets their fair share of humidity here, okay? We don't discriminate. Everybody gets the heat. Ah, it's a beautiful thing, though. We love it. But awesome. Really seems like a lot of people are going to be liking the growing stuff. I'm glad. I was kind of worried about it. I've invested a lot of time and money into the garden I'm going to have going. So I'm really excited I'll be able to share that with you guys. And it's something that you'll be interested in because I'm very excited. And I've been taking a lot of pictures and things. So am I able to post pictures in here? I have to sign into chat. What do you mean sign into chat? This is my own chat. It's saying I have to type it. I can't even type anything in my own chat. It says I have to sign in. I can't even type in my own chat. Oh wait, yes I can. I have it up on my phone. I can't do any pictures or anything. I had some pictures and stuff on my garden. I was gonna try to show off, but we will see. Oh man. Oh look, here we go. Look, here's some soil test kits right here. Oh, this would be like to send. Maybe. I don't know. But for soil test, pH, don't buy a $20 pH meter. I wouldn't buy a pH, any type of pH. I wouldn't buy any type of, now testing liquids is fine, but testing soil, don't get anything cheaper than $60. It'd be a piece of crap. Growing any tropical fruits, not right now, because the fruits are big space. Fruits are space takers, okay? So I have to plan that right. Right now, the only fruits I really have going is cantaloupe, watermelon. Oh gosh, I have something else. I don't remember what else. But I'm going to be getting some exotic fruits and stuff later. But I just don't have... They're going to be in the soil, and I just don't have the area laid out yet. I'm trying to get the smaller fruits and vegetables and stuff going first, and then we'll start getting into the exotics and things. But right now, it's not even laid out. My backyard, I spent 15 hours on a tractor in 4 days re-leveling my whole backyard. I want to grow papaya so bad. And I will. But my whole backyard is dirt. I have a lot. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I saw a lot of papaya trees seem to start doing well, and then they die pretty soon here. I don't know what's up with that. I'm not too familiar with it, but I know I saw like a 2-story. Probably a 1-story papaya tree. It was gorgeous. I couldn't believe. I've never seen one that tall. It was awesome. So I want to try to beat that and plant it. We just planted loquat trees. After seeing your video, yep, I actually have a loquat tree in the front that I'm actually using for privacy, but also it's beneficial. So I guess I do have a loquat tree. But any recommendations on a soil kit? Let's see. There's anything juicy in here. Oh, we gotta go back to the shopping section. For $20, I didn't make sense. Every professional kit is like $100. I just don't think you'll get an accurate reading for that much. Like this, 2-in-1. I pay $80 for my soil. For this exact meter, well, it's not exact, but it's a different type of meter, but I pay $80 for it because there's no way this is going to give you accurate soil and moisture readings for $9. You get 2 of them. What? Chinese piece of crap. Don't buy China crap. Let's look for something. Ooh, why is Sunday popping up here? Wow, here you go. Here's your soil test kit. Save time and money. Professional soil test kit. Quickly, accurately test. Walmart? What the hell? What's a Walmart doing selling this stuff, man? This is legit. There's no reviews and stuff on it. That's probably too difficult, and I don't know why Walmart's selling this. Here we go. This looks something cool here. Garden guide soil test kit. Oh, this might be more for gardening. What's in this sucker? Open it up. Okay. No, this looks good here. I like this. Yeah, right here, $85, and you can earn 425 points whatever that means, but you can earn them. But a kit like this, I wouldn't go over the top with what I saw, but it's about what you want to see. It's got a good little handbook, a couple tubes and things, so you can you probably have a couple years of testing out of this, which is really good. Or you can just test different sections of your lawn and things like that. So I think something like this would be something you're looking for in the middle of professional and beginner. But like I said, don't spend anything under $60 for soil testing. It's just going to be Chinese crap. And you can earn 425 points. It's just got 10 reviews. I mean, you don't have to exactly buy this one from here, but something similar. Well, that could be interesting. 42, that kind of totes the line there. 31, that one might not be too bad. 31 here, yeah. 63, so this is the range you're going to want to be in. Oh, now here we go. How about this? $3,000. Oh, this is agriculture. Okay. But, yeah, and these, I love these. You homeowners, you guys don't really need these, but this is how I test customer soil. I carry these in my truck, but it's over the top. You guys don't need that. But yeah, that's about where you want to be. Kind of a good, perfect thing. Because T offer soil tests, we don't, because all we would do is send it to anywhere you can send it. So that's why maybe we should do in-house soil. Maybe I should buy a soil testing kit and do soil tests. Because I'd do that. I would do it right, and I'd get you guys results. But it probably costs money. Well, obviously it costs money, but it might cost a lot of money. But no, we don't. We just recommend people. I recommend sending to University of Florida. It's not like $100, but that's going to give you the best reading. At your local ag extension agency's free. That'll give you your second best reading. And then like Scott's and stuff, you can send it to them for it. So, but, and man, I might buy a really nice kit and then do soil testing for people. I have to see kind of how that works. That would be down the line, so I would send it to somebody else. I got to get my gears turned on this, but that might be a good idea. I'd like to be something. That'd be something cool to offer for people and a big benefit. I could spend some moolah on a nice kit, get you some good readings, and I love that stuff. So it really get me going, testing soil and making a little money doing it wouldn't hurt. That's something to think about. But I would send it for free now. My father-in-law had many fruit trees. Use much rabbit manure in soil. Ever heard of that? Yeah. So I have chickens. I have 5 chickens that live in my bathroom. Yes, 5 chickens live in my bathroom. But I'm going to, of course, use them for eggs. But also, I'm going to scoop their poop and use it in a compost pile. So we have, from our landscape jobs, we have giant compost piles in the back of my yard full of dead grass, dead roots, things ripped out from jobs, and all kinds of things. And we're just letting them decompose. I'm just throwing eggs and throwing crap in there, and we're just letting it all decompose and break down and get nice, rich soil. And then that's when we throw chicken poop in there. So, yeah, man, poop. That's what, not Milorganite. Is it Milorganite I'm thinking of? Yeah, Milorganite. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, Milorganite sewer compost waste. So that's human shit. So, poop's great. Poop is good for growing food. Always a big win. And that's really great because you can actually kind of till that up in the soil and get that in the soil rather than just kind of putting stuff on top. But yeah, that's great. I can't wait. I'm actually going to have in the front, I have to figure it out. Our company's growing too fast, and I have too many cars that park here now. It's so crazy. I don't have enough parking spaces already after only 1 year being on this acre of land. So I have to figure out our parking situation first. And then I want to make sure that's settled, and then I'm going to do a whole row of fruit trees. I'm going to try to grow almost every single type of fruit tree that can at least somewhat grow. I'm even going to take the challenging stuff, and it might not work, and that's okay. But, of course, lemons, limes, oranges, and tangerines and stuff, all the stuff that simply grows here, I'm going to grow that right away. But I'm going to get a nice, I'll call it fruit row or something, and it'll be just a whole row of fruit trees and things. It'll be cool, and I'll do, of course, different tests and things with them, and see the results, but that comes later because those grow big, and I have to figure out the parking situation first. So, wow, okay. I had nothing for you guys, and we ended up doing the hour, which is great. I didn't know we would last an hour stream, especially not doing anything. We always end up doing an hour stream anyways, because I like hanging out with you guys and answering questions, so it's pretty cool. But we'll look to wrap it up around here, and we'll hang around for a couple more minutes, see if there's any last minute questions, anything else I can help you guys with. But I think we covered a lot of good information, and what I'm probably gonna do is take clips from this stream and make some videos through the week, because I'm just so busy to film videos. My head's spinning like crazy, so I might take some clips and post these as videos. And that's what I love. I love you guys asking these questions, because it's so hard to make a video of, because not that I already know it all, but I already have a lot of this information, so it's hard to know what do people who aren't in my industry want to know. So I love communicating with you guys, because you guys are knowing me this, you're asking me questions, and you guys ask me 4 or 5 things that I can make videos out of, or use this as a video. So this is really great, being able to communicate with you guys and seeing what you want to see out of this. Really cool, a lot of fun. But again, I'll stick around for another minute or so. We'll see if anyone has any last minute questions, and if so, fire away. Mike, thanks. Really enjoyed the video. Great questions and answers. I agree, Mike. This was great. Oddly enough, I feel I had no topic on this one, but I feel like I got the most. I feel like this is one of the best live streams. So I feel like I got the most precipitation. No, not precipitation. Participation. That's how much I'm thinking lawns all the time. But I've had so much interaction with you guys, and a lot of comments and a lot of feedback. This was like my favorite live stream ever, because a lot of people are kind of just commenting in here, but not everyone's always asking questions. So that's very cool, and I think we got to a lot. Will imperial palm trees survive Florida winters? Check this out. Let's see. I am not too familiar with imperial palm tree zone. Oh, that's duh. I have shopping up. Oh, I guess, is an imperial palm also called a royal palm? That's the thing with this stuff. Oh. Is this the palm that you're talking about? I want to make sure, because everyone has different names for palm. Some people call certain plants one thing in one part of the country, and some people call it a different thing in the other. So let me make sure this is the palm that you're talking about here. And then will imperial oh, I like open top. Yeah, me too, Mike. It was really good here. Yes. This palm tree tolerates short periods of cold as low as 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Gardeners living in USDA Zone 9B, where freezes aren't common. This is us. Aren't common, can also have success growing royal palms. Though, if a hard freeze occurs, be prepared for your tree to suffer some damage. So, yes, we can. It can look at. I honestly didn't know they could handle 28 degrees. That's pretty impressive. Just sell me gold.
There's never been a better time to get away.
That's our soil's
with a
perfect.
great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. Only at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Like, what is that noise? Who's talking? Scared me. So look, soil, sandy, loamy, great soil conditions. It can handle the cold, may take a beating. Let's look at the fertilizer requirements and pruning, because I think that'll be important into this. So regular feeding your royal palm cuts down the possibility of tree suffering from nutritional problems. It's best to feed the palm tree every 3 months using 1.5 pounds for every 100 square feet of tree canopy. So, that's too much math. It's already over all of our heads. Let's not worry about that. The University of Florida recommends 18 pounds of fertilizer per palm per tree done in 3 applications, 6 pounds each time. That's going to be best 8-12. Palm fertilizer is very important because it needs magnesium and manganese. So make sure that the pruning. One good thing about royal palm is they are self-cleaning, meaning the old fronds naturally drop from the tree without needing a pruning. Oh, that's great. As well as all palm trees, it's not advised to remove fronds that are still green because the tree is still receiving nutrients from them. Ah, okay, so you don't really have to trim them as much. That's great. Wow, I didn't really know that these palms would do that well here. I would have personally, before reading that, been scared to plant them. But if you feed them right, you'll be golden. Feed them, don't prune them, and you should be good to go. Thanks, I appreciate the live stream. Hey, no problem. I enjoyed the live stream. So we're an hour 20 in. I think we're good to go. We covered a lot of great topics, a lot of great things. I had fun chatting with you guys. I appreciate everybody. All the likes, comments, and support means the world to me. If you're not subscribed, I'd appreciate subscribing to the channel. That just helps people like you find my videos and find my information. And all I can ask is just keep supporting the channel, and that means the world to me. Keep interacting, commenting, liking. That's your best way to pay me back for helping you guys out with the lawn. So thank you so much. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and everyone have a great rest of your night.